Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who have been following me for a little while, I am sorry for the delay and like the time lapse between my last video and this one. I've been dealing with chest infection and all sorts of flare-ups with my health, so I needed to take an unexpected extended break, so for that I do apologise. But as you can see, I'm not quite ready to give up the Halloween vibes, but today we are looking at, we're doing obviously another pick a card reading, but we are looking at messages from your past lives and just kind of seeing what's come through from your past lives that's in your current lifetime and the things that you're still integrating from that time. We're also going to be getting messages from your past self and getting some general advice as well, and how to integrate the things that you are still carrying forward with you into this lifetime. So we have 3 piles to choose from. Now pile 1 has this tower, which is red carnelian, and then for my pile 2s we have this green tree agate tower, and then for my pile 3s we have the sunstone tower. So feel free to pause the video if you need to choose your pile, and I will see you in your reading. Hi pile 1, welcome to your reading. So this is your reading if you chose the red carnelian, which I'm going to pop up there. Now this is going to be what you are releasing from your past life, or what it is that you are still working through. So I'm going to put this to one side, or shall I read this now? I hadn't thought that far ahead. Actually, let's do this now. So I'm going to also read from the guidebook for this one. I love these cards. So you have balance. Bring a state of perfect harmony. I will start that again. I don't know why I'm so tongue-tied. I bring a state of perfect harmony into my world, and I do so without judgment. So I'm going to find that in the guidebook for you, and then we are going to look at some further oracle cards, which are going to be things to do with your past life that you are still dealing with. This is my first time doing a past life reading, so I wasn't quite sure how it was going to go, or how I was going to do this, but I'm going on intuition and just what feels right and how this is supposed to go. So hopefully I won't get tongue-tied reading this to you. But balance means bringing a sense of stability and wholeness into every area of your life. Many times when you look at a situation objectively, you will resonate with one side more than the other. Try not to view either as good or bad, but simply recognize that it is. The true nature of the scales of balance is to give both sides of a situation your equitable, objective perspective. It can be difficult to understand the side that you don't relate to, but that is a lesson in itself. What it is about you that prevents you from giving both sides of the coin your non-judgmental assessment. The situation or person has been placed in your path to teach you that everyone has his or her own unique, authentic life story. You must put yourself in that person's shoes to really understand his or her motivations. Balance is a godly virtue, and if it is struck, you will reap the benefits of insight and compassion. Obviously, interchange the wording when it comes to godly, whatever higher power it is that you resonate with. But this is definitely obviously about balance. So let's see what it is from your past life that it is that you are bringing into balance. So we're going to use these oracle cards that I've already pulled for you, and then we'll get into the tarot and further guidance as well. So we have Moon Magic with phases and number 27, in case that's relevant to you. And we also have Intuition. You hold the answers, you know the truths. Ancient ones await behind the doors of the mind. And we have Grief with Banshee. And we have Positivity. New Moon with Beginnings. And we also have Familiar with Guardian. So I should say here with Banshee we also have the number 23, or 33, sorry, 23 with this one, and number 2 with the New Moon Beginnings card as well. So although you are bringing balance, the thing that you are integrating from your past life is balance, as we discussed earlier. But it's because there is a sense of loss and grief that you went through in a previous lifetime that you are still integrating and working through. There's almost a sense of coming to terms with it so that you can find the balance between the positive and the light aspects of life, because without that duality, without experiencing the darker and harder times of life, the challenges that life brings us, we can't appreciate that new beginning and really being able to move forwards with life and to appreciate the good in life as well. So you may resonate with, so the idea of these is to give you a sense of, because this past life is still relevant to you in the here and now, in this lifetime, you may resonate with a lot of these energies because they are something that you are still integrating from a previous lifetime. So you may be drawn to working with the moon phases, and even if it isn't the moon or the moon phases, it could be just generally cyclical living. So knowing when to rest in the darker months and when to really push forwards with your plans and ideas and things that you want to achieve during the summer months. You're very in tune with your intuition and things that it's almost those signs and synchronicities that you experience as well, and that inner knowing. So you may have clear cognizance, or one of the clairs that you're still integrating. Although you may experience it, you may not feel like you completely trust it. But then for some of you could be highly intuitive as well, because we also have the new moon here. So there's 2 references to the moon and cyclical living. With the new moon and the beginnings card over here, because it comes with the number 2, it's very balanced, very equal. Once again, it's that balance coming through. And balancing that positivity and knowing once again, it's that inner knowing, that guidance system that is steering you forwards. It's something that has come with you from a previous life, and allowing you to truly know. It's almost that sense of who you are, being tapped into your higher self and your higher knowing through your intuition, because you know that you aren't just it's like you know that you aren't just a physical being. You may remember previous lifetimes, and you may have soul ties and soul connections through pets as well, with this familiar card coming out and the Guardian. I was reading something earlier about toads, and I can't remember 100% what it was that it was to do with. I'm going to see if I can find the reference, but it wasn't that deck. It was another deck that I was working with myself. But there is almost this sense of really knowing your soul ties and soul connections. So you may be fully aware of your spiritual connection to your animals that you're around and with, and being able to draw strength from that as well, knowing that they are there as your companion. So you may feel, if this is resonating and you have pets, there is that element of pets are not just, this is the thing, some of our pets, they are more than just a pet. They have been with us through previous lifetimes or their own lifetimes, and they reincarnate, and we have this deeper telepathic connection with them. And they're more like our familiars than they are just a pet. There is something more spiritual and deeper to them. But toads was something that I wanted to read to you. So toads are to do with transformation, fate and fortune. And toad skin is used for warding, banishment, and to get rid of warts. But there is that element of transformation that feels true for you. You are transforming any leftover grief that you experienced. So there may be an element for you of feeling like you are grieving something but not knowing 100% what it was. And that could be something that you are grieving from this lifetime, this previous lifetime that we are looking at here. And you may have experienced quite a lot of grief in this lifetime as well, because it is something that you are learning to integrate and balance. Because loss and grief it's a measure of how much we loved that person or being that we are grieving for. And to know that it is part of those cycles of life. We all have, although we're looking at past lifetimes, we all have that physical beginning within our lifetime and that physical ending. Although our spirit may go on and go through multiple lifetimes on this planet or other planets, and really we are an expansive being, and because we're an energy being, we are a spiritual being having a physical experience. But part of that physical experience is grief, and being able to balance that with the positives of life and being able to begin anew. And that's what's coming through from your previous lifetime into this one. So if that's something that you are going through on a regular, it feels almost like a regular basis, something that is really part of your experience. So you may frequently feel like you are going through some kind of loss. It doesn't have to be someone that you're close to or a being. It could be generally just how life is showing up for you, and you feel like you are constantly having to let go and integrate, and being able to find that balance and positivity within you again to be able to begin again and go through those cycles. It's almost like you're having repeated tower moments where everything is being stripped down, ripped back, and you are rebuilding again from the foundations up. And you are an alchemist. You aren't destined to have one particular path that you are on within this lifetime. You may find yourself rebuilding again and again and again, and reinventing yourself and transforming and constantly going through this state of renewal where you are changing, shifting, as I say, alchemizing into this new person. You are constantly evolving, and you're quite aware of that as well. It's something that you are aware that you are experiencing and that you're going through. But you may find comfort in some kind of familial connection. And using it loosely, it could be your family as well, your soul tribe. It doesn't have to be an animal if you don't resonate with that part of the reading. It could be your soul tribe and more of a soul family than it is a pet or an animal of any particular sort. Obviously, with a black cat being presented here, it could be that you are particularly aligned with feline energy. They are quite aloof, they're quite independent, they have their own minds, and you'll know if you have a cat, they aren't our pet, we're their human, and they will come and go as they please, quite a lot of the time. But regardless of whether this is an animal that you are connected to or whether it is a human soul tribe, there is that sense of family and connection and being embraced and understood by people who you really resonate with, or beings that you really resonate with, because there is a very spiritual and almost psychic connection between you. And there's almost this inner knowing that you've found where you're meant to be in this lifetime. You have found your people, your tribe already. So we're going to look at the tarot to get an idea of what it is. I'm going to ask what the messages are from this particular lifetime that we're looking at, that you need to be aware of. So what messages, please, do my pile ones need to be aware of from this lifetime that we're looking at the moment? As I said, now we have the Tower come out. Once again, it's that energy of tearing everything down and beginning anew. When it comes to the Tower, it is often associated with sudden, unexpected, unwelcomed changes and feeling like the rug is pulled out from under you. But when you're aware of it, the Tower can be used to alchemize and take control of the situation and embrace that change so that you can make the changes that you want to have. You can decide what direction you want to go in. It's following your intuition and your soul calling and really embracing that change so that you have that element of control over it. Because if we cling to things being exactly as they are, the universe, spirit, God, however you want to word it, it's going to step in. And this is what the Tower really talks about. It's that whole process of a higher power stepping in to make the changes that we may have been resisting and not wanting to embrace. It's that change that you know needs to happen. You can't stay as you are, but you don't know what direction to go in. If you don't figure it out, this is exactly what happens. That higher power steps in and almost strips those things away, and it can leave you with almost like this sense of sadness and despair and devastation. But if you can embrace those changes, you can use those to alchemize and change and really dictate what direction your life is going to take, and being able to integrate those things. What else, please? Yeah, you have the courage and the strength to really tackle this. You know that there is a decision to make and that the world is going to open up to you once you make that decision. It's just a matter of really taming your fears and those base instincts that may be holding you back. So they could be limiting beliefs. Leon's decided to wake up and have a shake. There's limiting beliefs and those fears that may be governing your decisions. It could be those that have been holding you back. If you have any limiting self-beliefs, fears, and just generally feeling that they can come up as imposter syndrome, they can come up as not feeling good enough, those fears of not being able to cope with what life throws at you. If you were to embrace this change and go with it and choose that path for yourself, because the Two of Wands here, he holds the world in his hand, and it's just a matter of making that decision between those two choices, those two paths that are really going to, that really connect with your passions, your desires, what sparks that creativity in your belly and makes you want to go forwards and take an adventure and conquer the world. That's what lies before you. But it's a matter of embracing that change to bring that balance and following your intuition into this lifetime, and not allowing any fears, doubts, or as I've said previously, those limiting beliefs coming through and stopping you from taking that path and moving forwards. It's aligning yourself with positivity and allowing yourself to have that new beginning. Find that strength within your tribe and within those psychic connections and spiritual connections that you have with others, regardless of whether they are people, animals, places, whatever it is that helps you to find that inner balance within yourself. What else, please? And we have the Ace of Cups. Yeah, it's going to bring that emotional... Once you make this decision and go through this process and allow yourself to embrace those changes, because they are what you're working through. And it's something that you may have struggled with in a previous lifetime, because the things that we bring forward with us from our previous lifetimes are things that we have really struggled with and haven't finished integrating into our soul learnings and our soul growth. So we bring them into the next lifetime so that we can continue working with those and working through them, because they are part of what we want to work on a soul level. And by doing this, making those choices, embracing those changes, it's going to allow you to start on this emotional new beginning. Because the Ace of Cups is all about having that cup offered to us. And in this particular card, it is showing as being overflowing. It is abundant with emotional fulfillment and love and all those really high vibrational things that can bring us contentment and peace within ourselves, that emotional peace that you may be yearning for or really feel yourself looking for as well. And although I'm not going to pull it, I have noticed that we have the Chariot on the back of the deck as well. So it's going to allow you to have that focus to be able to move forwards and really make progress within this as well, because it's all about willpower. What else, please? And we have the Hermit. Yeah, you know all of this intuitively. This feels like it would be this isn't anything new to you. You are so tapped into your intuition and that inner knowing and working through those cycles and your psychic connections. You know that you are due this new beginning. You have all of that knowledge within you and you are your own guiding light. And even though I shuffled the deck, once again we have the Chariot coming out on the back of the deck. It is you tapping into that, all of those energies. It's a matter of trusting yourself, because the Chariot also speaks about balance. Because if we think about an actual chariot, it has at least 2 wheels, and if one of those is out of whack, or even if one of the horses is veering off in a different direction, if we take the imagery literally, if one of those horses were to veer off in a different direction, then there would be utter chaos and things wouldn't power forwards in any particular direction. It would just fall apart and go in all different directions. So this is really about you having that connection, that inner connection with yourself, trusting who you are on a soul level, and those intuitive nudges that you get that are pushing you forwards. It's going to allow you to come into that balance so that you can really connect with your higher self and the direction that you are going in, so that you can move and make it's almost like going full speed ahead. Once you have everything in alignment and you have tamed those fears and have the courage to make that decision to bring that balance into your life and go for what is going to really bring you that emotional fulfillment and allow you to connect with what it is that you desire. It feels like you've been denying yourself something. I'm not going to lie, pile one. I just need a drink of water. It really feels like you've been denying yourself something that is going to bring you that emotional fulfillment. And I dare say that you already know this. You know that it's what you desire, it's what you want, it's what's going to bring you that happiness, that joy, that feeling of emotional abundance, like your cup is just overflowing and you have so much to give to others. But you've been denying yourself this, and it's time to make that change. It's time to trust yourself, to trust your intuition, to tame those fears, and to really allow yourself to make that decision to move forwards and chase your dreams. Stop holding yourself back, because if you don't start to embrace this change that's coming, this change that you know that you need deep on a soul level, because you're already so connected with your intuition, you know this already. But if you don't do this, if you don't step into this energy and allow yourself to follow your passions, your heart, what you know you truly want at a very deep soul level, Spirit, the universe, is going to step in. It's going to start taking those things away from you. You may have noticed it already if you haven't been taking action. There may be an element of things falling away. And it has the potential of being quite a rough ride if you can't come to terms with that. Because the more we resist, the harder it's going to be. Because this is an external force coming in to really kind of shake things up. Because out of the tarot cards that I've pulled, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 6 cards are major arcana. So this is pretty big energy. It can represent everyday living and everyday life, but the majority of the time the major arcana come out, it's really something that is destined, and it's quite a big energy and signifies big changes. So this feels like you are at a tipping point where things aren't going to be the same afterwards, and that's a good thing. It isn't something to fear or something to resist. It's a change that on a soul level you want, or is part of your soul contract in this lifetime, because you are clearing out the things that are kind of left over from your previous lifetime that we're looking at here. These things, it's time to release them. You've done so much work on them already. You are so tapped into your intuition and knowing that it is time for a new beginning, and embracing those cycles and those changes. Because even if we look at the card that we had come out here with the moon, magic and phases, everything in life has a phase. Regardless of where we're at, we all go through those phases, those changes, and whether you look at it from if you're a woman watching this, we go through those monthly cycles. And when you look at it from a larger perspective within a lifespan, we go through cycles and changes. We go through that maiden phase where we are young, naive, experiencing the world from the first time, like that beginning of the fool's journey, where we don't know what to expect, and because we've forgotten everything from our previous lifetimes and we don't have those experiences within this lifetime. So we look at life through these fresh eyes, where we haven't gone through so much trauma and so many things that can build up those limiting beliefs and those fears of things going wrong or not feeling good enough. And then we go into adulthood and we gain different life experiences once again, and we see things differently and integrate things differently to what we did when we were younger as teenagers and going through life as young adults. And then once again, when we get to that crone phase, when we are more near our retirement age, we see things differently again, because we have gone through changes and our body changes within that time as well, what we're capable of, and we begin to slow down and see things from a very different perspective to what we did in our younger years. And we start to be more in touch with our own fragility, and that life is a blessing rather than a given. So there are all those changes of perspective, and even when we look at the seasons as well within the year, everything has its season. And although I've kind of slightly gone off on a tangent there, everything has its season and everything has its moment in time. But there comes a time where it is time to let go of things and to move forwards into something fresh and something new and reinvent ourselves, regardless of where you are in life. And it really feels like it's one of those pivotal moments for you where you are changing into someone new by letting go of the choices that we don't take. Because with the Two of Wands here, it is a choice. It's a choice which path we take. And there has to be that acceptance of what we don't choose, we let go of. Because we can't experience both. We can't choose both. We have to pick a path. And that isn't always easy. But where you're integrating that balance, there feels like there's an element of acceptance coming through as well. So I know some of you may be interested in timings maybe, or the astrological signs that are coming through, just in case they're significant for you. So I want to briefly touch on those. So the Tower is connected with Mars, which is Aries energy, but it's all to do with survival, and it can also be linked with aggression. But Aries season may be significant to you. There's not necessarily anything to do with aggression. It may just be that it's time to take charge of your life. Same with strength coming through here with Leo. Both are natural born leaders and want to have that attention and be in the limelight. So they are very outgoing, flamboyant kind of energies that are coming through. Mars is also to do with, obviously, I've already said Aries, but Aries mythologically, I believe, is the god of war. So there may be an element of that coming in where you feel that you are at war with yourself. And especially with the Strength card here as well, you may feel like there is some kind of inner turmoil going on at the moment that you are working through. Because you may feel slightly like you are at war with yourself, trying to decide which path to take. Which, granted, isn't easy. I'm going through something similar myself, knowing what path to take and what is meant for me. And you may be at that point in your life as well where you are trying to decide what is meant for you and tapping into that. So I will get some oracle cards for guidance for you at the end, just to see what it is that you need to know about this situation and how you can integrate it. But the Hermit is what? That is a very good question. The Hermit is Virgo, which is also linked with work and routine. So this situation may be something to do with your work, and what direction you're going in. But remember to trust yourself and your own internal guidance. The Chariot even is linked with Cancer, which is all to do with your security and foundations. So it's not just about the willpower, but there's also a sense of mastery of self coming through as well, and your ambition. It can also be adrenaline and taking control and having that force to move forwards. But to me, this feels like having that balance, as we spoke about earlier, so that you can have that willpower. There's also an element of travel coming in as well. But then it's that forward momentum that it feels like you are building at the moment. So I wasn't sure which oracle deck I was going to use for guidance, but I feel drawn to use one of my usual decks because I love the messages on them. So this is the Dream cards. Change your thoughts, change your life, which I'm not going to lie, feels really appropriate to what you have going on right now, because the changes that you are making and going through, or going to be going through, they're part of your soul journey. So what guidance do you have, please, for my pile ones? What guidance do you have, please, for my pile ones, for integrating this sense of balance in this lifetime? What guidance do you have, please? And we have unleash your inner power. By doing the things you enjoy doing, start with little moments. They will give you more strength for next time. The more you nurture your needs, the more powerful you become. Yeah, trust that gut instinct and that inner knowing that is leading you forwards. Once again, it's that Hermit energy coming through. What else? What other guidance do you have? Oh, and we have 3 come out here. So we have miracles happen all the time. Open your mind to miracles and you will start experiencing miraculous coincidences in your life. Trust that process. And you are special, the most special you this world is ever going to see. Follow your bliss, walk your own path, and let your special talent shine bright for everyone to see. It just feels like this is reiterating everything that I've been saying to you about following your own intuition. What else do we have here? Instead of making excuses and telling yourself why you can't do it or why it's not possible, ask yourself, what if it is possible? Stop doubting yourself, pile 1. Stop doubting your capabilities and letting those fears get in the way of what it is that you are bringing in and the changes that you want to embrace. It's time to step into your personal power and know exactly what it is that you are worth. Because I think that you already know. It's a matter of... Okay, so we all have that part of ourselves, those inner voices that tell us that maybe we aren't good enough. Maybe we can't do this. What if it's not possible? What if this happens? What if that goes wrong? What if I'm just going to make a fool of myself? We all have that. It is a part of the human condition, and although it is an utter pain to deal with, granted, totally know that, I accept it, deal with it myself, there is nothing to say that you can't differentiate and discern what is that part of you and what part is your higher self coming through. Because the ego screams and intuition whispers. So allow yourself to take that time to get quiet and really connect with yourself and your intuition. Like, I know you have been. It's coming through. It's something that you already know and you're already connected with. So don't be allowing that humanness to stop you. You know, I think you already know the decision that you need to make and the path that you need to take. It's just a matter of having the courage to do it and getting out of your own way. So don't be making those excuses to hold you back. On the back of the deck, we also have who or what has made you believe that for some reason or another, you don't have what it takes to follow your dream. Follow your dream. Once again, it's that conditioning. We all have those experiences in life that hold us back. We all have at least one person who has made us feel less than, and although we don't have what it takes. I think it's safe to say that we've all experienced that. There's at least one person that each of us can remember in our lifetime, in this lifetime, that has made us feel less than. Don't give your power away. Don't give it to them. What have they done to deserve it, to take up that headspace? Like, chances are they aren't in your life right now, and if they are, they need to be, on their way, because they're just holding you back. They aren't serving your highest good, and they aren't serving their own highest good by being bothered about what someone else is doing, because at the end of the day, we're all responsible for our own well-being and our own sense of purpose and where we're going. Yes, we can support each other, we can build each other up. I'm not saying that that's not a thing, but don't be a crab in a bucket. I don't know if you've heard that saying before, but I absolutely love it. Being a crab in a bucket where one tries to climb out and the others all go, "Oh, what are you doing?" And they end up inadvertently pulling them back down to where everyone else is. Like, you don't need crabs in a bucket in your life. That's something I never thought I'd say, but you really don't. So practice discernment around who it is that you are investing your time and energy in. If they are people who aren't building you up, then maybe they're not the best people to spend a lot of time with, and kind of make sure that you have that balance and those boundaries in place. And just kind of check in with yourself as well, with your own self-talk. And because if they're things from your childhood that you are bringing in, then it could be those that are holding you back. So kind of, if you find negative self-talk coming up, take a breath, pause, and check in with yourself as to where that is coming from. Who would have spoken to you like that? And how much merit do you really want to give it if it's holding you back from following your dreams? So, yeah, I think that is pretty much all I have for you, my pole ones. I want to thank you so much for being here and especially as you've at this point made it through the reading and stayed with me. I appreciate you so much for being here and for being part of my teeny tiny community on here. You honestly mean the world to me. So I'm sending you so much love, and I really want you to follow your dreams. Don't hold back. Don't stop yourself. Like, just the stuff, like the stuff that's bogging you down and that's getting in the way, just kind of like give it a wash and clean it away. Cleanse. You don't need it. You're this beautiful diamond underneath everything, and it just needs kind of cleaning and washing away to all the limiting beliefs and things that are holding you back. Just need a little wash and a little cleanse, and yeah, just don't dim your light. You're worth so much more than that. So I really hope that this has resonated, and once again, thank you so much for being here. I hope that you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching this. I am sending you, your higher self, your soul tribe, so much love, and please feel free to like, comment or subscribe. It all helps out the channel and lets me know whether this is resonating for you. And I really hope that you will come back and see me again soon. Bye. Hi Pile 2, welcome to your reading. So this is your reading if you chose the what was this one? Triago. So with this card, for pile 1, I read it first. So this is what you are integrating from your past life that we are looking at in this reading. And you have denial. I acknowledge my fear, but I replace it with the insight of awareness. So we'll get into it deeper, don't worry. It's not necessarily a bad thing. We are going to look at, I'm going to read from the guidebook for this one, and then we will look at your other oracle cards that I've already pulled for you to do with your previous life that we are looking at, and then we will get the tarot, and then we'll get further guidance as well. So bear with me, because pile 1 turned into quite a long reading, so I hope you're in for the long haul, because I absolutely love you being here and I have missed doing this so much. So anyway, I digress. So for this card we have, it is time to open up and be completely honest with yourself at this present moment. Haha. Buried fears and resentments do not die. They merely fester and cause distress, or disease, sorry, not distress, disease. Only by bringing them to the surface and examining them in the light of day with love and compassion will you banish them from your life. Oh my goodness, this is going to go so deep. It may bring you pain and heartache to reflect upon these situations again, but you are only giving them power by suppressing them. Sorry. The dangerous seeds of denial will grow and spread and manifest unless you uproot them, examine them, and release them. This is the only way to become whole and healthy. Learn not to bury painful emotions in the first place. Deal with them as they come, and take all the time you need to neutralize them without hiding them. Your soul wants to live honestly and authentically in the now. Don't hinder it by placing emotional landmines on its path. Oh, my pile 2s! Oh my goodness. I want to give you a massive hug. Okay, so this feels like it is very much going to be based around needing grounding, shadow work, and okay, so right, let me explain. I've been kind of tumbling over my words, so please forgive me. There is a very good point to what I'm getting to here, but But, so, the particular crystal that you've picked out, because of its colour, it is reminding me of the heart chakra, because green is the colour of the heart chakra. But I'm also being drawn to encourage you to ground. So, really simple grounding technique is to, excuse me, I burped them, to take some deep breaths to ground and center yourself. These are slow, deep breaths in through the nose and out through your mouth, to let go of any, it feels like it might be anxiety coming up for you, and to allow yourself to settle into your body, and then allow roots of energy to come down out through the base of your feet. I was going to say the roots of your feet. Out through the base of your feet, down through all the layers, down through the foundations of the building, and down through all the layers of the earth, to connect with the center of the earth and allow Mother Gaia to support you. Allow those roots to connect gently but firmly to whatever crystal comes to mind. It could be this one, or it could be something completely different. It honestly doesn't matter. Whatever crystal that you're drawn to, and allowing yourself to be supported by Mother Gaia, Mother Earth. Because with the colour here, we have oranges and yellows, which are your sacral chakra, which are all to do with your creativity, being able to birth things into the world. And the yellow represents the solar plexus, which is your personal power, and allowing you to have the energy and willpower to move forward through life and to get to where you want to be. Because if fears are running your life, whether you know where they come from or don't, they're going to stop you from being able to fully align with your potential in this lifetime. And that's going to really hold you back and stop you from being able to be honest with yourself, as we read in the card meaning. When you're going through painful situations, and because emotional pain, our body can't differentiate between physical pain and emotional pain. So if you are going through emotional pain, it comes out, and our body, told you I can't speak, our body processes it in a very similar way, and our brains process it in a similar way to if we were in actual physical pain. It's like having heartbreak. We actually feel it in our body when we go through a really bad breakup and we're really in the thick of it. We feel it in our bodies, we feel it in our heart, we feel it in our gut. And by stopping yourself from processing these and trying to push them down, it's something that you're bringing forward into this lifetime from your previous lifetime. So the way that you're going to know that this pole is definitely for you is if you are still experiencing this now. And how can I explain this? When we're children, even if you watch other children, you may not remember what it was like if you've blocked that part of your life out. I don't know why I felt called to say that, but maybe that's the case for some of you. If we can watch children how they I've spoken about this before in readings on my channel, but they really allow themselves to fully feel before any social conditioning has really taken hold. As children, we allow ourselves to fully feel our emotions because that allows it to pass through us much more quickly and easily, and that's how we process things. We can't go under it, over it. We have to go through it. We can't bypass it in any way. To truly integrate and heal from something, we have to actually feel it completely in our bodies. I'm not saying that you need to stay there, because that's not healthy either, but to allow ourselves to feel it in the moment as it comes up. Sorry, I've got mic issues now. My cardigan and the mic are deciding to have a little argument with themselves. Let's pull that up there. I do apologise. But it allows us to really process that. And no way am I saying that this is easy, because it is not. But you can do that inner child work, reparent yourself, and allow yourself to take care of that little one within you who is going through that fear. And rather than shunning them and making them feel like that part of you isn't accepted, if you can lovingly embrace that part of you with compassion and understand what it is that part of you needs, so that you can provide that as the adult that you are now in this lifetime, to really be there for that part of you so that it can feel safe and to experience these emotions that you have been denying yourself and holding back on, because this will be presenting quite a lot of the blockages that you may be facing in this lifetime. And it is something that the reason that these things come through into these lifetimes is because in that previous lifetime, where it's been part of our soul journey to process these and integrate them, something would have happened and we haven't finished integrating those lessons, or we may have denied them completely and not been able to face processing it, which is why it's come through with us in this lifetime. It's part of our soul contract, because when we've gone back to source, we've realised, didn't do that bit, need to do it again. And it comes up once again for us to go through and learn and alchemize, because it's going to be, it feels like it's going to be the cork that gets popped out of the bottle so that everything can flow. So if you've found yourself feeling very stagnant, and I haven't even looked at these yet. These are our next oracle cards that we're going to be looking at, which are also to do with your past life. But it's going to be that once you've cleared that blockage, it's that's going to really allow life to flow freely to you and for you, rather than feeling like everything is happening to you. It's happening for you. And once you can get through this, it's going to be much easier to be able to see life that way. So before I get any deeper into this, because I've noticed that I'm kind of going on a bit of a tangent in these at the moment, we'll look at these and see what else is coming out. Yes, Hecate with Underworld, number 2. Love Hecate, but she is all to do with shadow work, as we've already been talking about here. She is one of the dark goddesses that we can work with, and she is very no nonsense. She is very much about shining a light where you need it and making those big changes, and she's just so no nonsense. And we also have grief here, with it is but a mere glimpse of nothingness hidden away deep within the chambers of your mourning, in the red clothes birthing lost illusion, with number 29. And we also have Witch's Hat with power, which is what I feel like you're trying to reconnect with at the moment. And we also have Focus with something that I can't pronounce, and I'm not going to even attempt it, so if you want to look that up you can. With number 38, and I'm going to have to squeeze these in. We also have Blossom. I love that I've been called to put that over there with power, because I feel like your power is going to be blossoming. And we also have Waxing Gibbous with boundaries. Yeah, Hecate's going to help you with that. So if I knew this book was going to come up at some point, so if you feel called to work with Hecate, work with your shadow, and being able to alchemize this and really kind of look at those aspects of yourself, those shadow aspects and those hidden realms within yourself, and to go deeper, I would highly recommend Reclaim Your Dark Goddess, which I have here, which is by Flavia Kate Peters. Now, I've only just started working with this myself, but it goes through the different dark goddesses and their different aspects that you can then work with. This isn't, what's the word? Promoted in any way. It's just a book that I absolutely love and I'm working with. So I'm only at the beginning, but it's got multiple different goddesses that you can work with in there, and it touches on Hecate as well. I don't know if you want to have a closer look, but as I was speaking about Mother Gaia and grounding, she is actually the first goddess that you work with in this practice. But we've also got Baba Yaga, the Morrigan. There's just so much in it for you to work with, and it might be something that you would find helpful and something that you may find worth looking up and looking into. But there are other books out there as well, and if you wanted to go for something that is straight up inner child work, there are also books out there for that as well. There is another one that I would recommend, but I honestly can't remember the name of it because it's been quite some time since I picked it up. But there is, I don't even know where I've put it, but there is a workbook by, I might get the name wrong, but I think that it's something like Peter Walker. I will try and remember. Let's see if I can put something random in a weird place so that it reminds me that I need to check it out for you. I'm going to put my angel spray over here. Hopefully that will remind me that I need to add that to the video for you. But doing that inner work and looking at your shadows and what you find acceptable and unacceptable. So what it is that you are comfortable with, what it is that, if there are situations, people, anything that makes you feel uncomfortable, that would be, you awake there, Leon? Yeah, you're having another shake. My little furry co-host over there adjusting himself. But that would be where you need to put in your boundaries. So if you aren't comfortable with something, it's not like you have to be aggressive or anything like that. Boundaries are just where you kind of go, I'm not okay with this. I'm not comfortable with this. This isn't for me. and you know to remove yourself from those situations. And having that focus on your own healing and allowing yourself to go through that, pardon me, burping again, that's going to help you along your journey and integrating this sense of denial and trying to push away your emotions. Because we've had grief come out as well, you may find as you are going through this process and integrating these things from your past life, because they don't necessarily, this is the thing, although it's from our past life, it's something that is deeply rooted within us, and it is something that we can then re-experience within this lifetime. We kind of have those experiences and nudges that, even though it is something from another lifetime, we almost relive those patterns again in this lifetime. And it's part of that process, because we are going to relive things again and again and again until we get it. And until we integrate it, heal it, resolve it, release it, alchemize it. And none of it's easy, none of it's straightforward. But grief may play a part in that. But you may also find, as you're going through this, you may find that you are grieving for the life that you felt that you could have had, or the experiences that you could have had if you hadn't been in the situations or had the experiences that you have in this lifetime. You are grieving for the life that you weren't destined to have in this lifetime because of these unresolved soul lessons that you are going through. But it's going to allow you to blossom into your power and to, how can I put it? There's almost this sense of being a bud, a young shoot of some kind of plant that is only just emerging, and it is something that needs to be tended to and cultivated with compassion and love, and tended to. And the same is true when we're going through shadow work and doing healing work, because you can't just do this kind of stuff once and expect everything to be sorted. It doesn't work like that. We peel back those layers. Excuse me, I'm recording at a ridiculous hour of the morning, but it is my favourite time to record. So it's a matter of peeling back those layers, and things are never straightforward. Never ever straightforward. But when are they in life? So, and with each layer that you peel back, there is another layer of healing. You go deeper, and that's where the alchemy is. It isn't at that surface layer. It's as we go deeper and deeper and deeper to begin to make those changes to our core self and to really integrate them, because we can understand something logically in our mind, but that doesn't mean that we feel it within ourselves and in our body at a much deeper level. It can take longer to get to that part of the process where we truly actually feel it within ourselves. I was going to say feel it in our bones. You know, that soul deep bone level where we know it's our truth. But it takes time for it to get to that point through that integration and healing process. It doesn't happen overnight, and it's not easy. It feels like you're at the beginning of this, and although there are those shoots of personal power coming in that are beginning to blossom. There is still a lot of work to do. Sorry, I'm just going to have a drink of water. Because I've been recording for a hot second. But there is still so much of your journey to go through. And although you may have been aware of the healing that you need to do, it feels like the actual healing process is still quite early on, because it does take quite a significant amount of time to go through it. And that being said, there's something that I want to really, I don't know quite what the right word is for this. It's not so much point out, but that I need to reiterate from previous videos, or make you aware if it's your first time here with me, taking part in the pick a card reading. I nearly lost my train of thought there and what I was supposed to be saying. And my microphone's having another argument with my cardigan, so I do apologise. It's not that you have to be completely healed. You don't have to have everything together. You don't have to be, and I want to do the air fingers here, be fixed to be lovable. Okay, don't go down that route. We don't have to be completely integrated, completely healed to be lovable. Okay, so if that's a train of thought that you've found yourself going down, stop. Okay, we don't have to be completely healed to be loved, to be deserving of love, and to be lovable. We are all intrinsically and completely lovable. Regardless of where we're at in life, we are deserving of love. Yes, there may be healing that we need to do so that we can have healthy relationships and healthy interactions with others, but that does not mean that you are not worthy of being loved. So I really felt the need to point that out, because there is this toxic mindset going on of we have to be healed, we have to be healing is a lifelong process, regardless of where you're at on this journey. And why would you deny yourself love? Don't get me wrong, it's taken me a long time to get to this point myself, to really appreciate that and understand it and accept it. But we don't have to have, I don't know if I'm really allowed to say this on here, but we don't have to, what can I call it? We don't have to have our poop together to to be lovable. Because think of that newborn baby that hasn't had all of these life experiences yet, and the social conditioning and the patterns of behavior, those learnt behaviors that we have even in our current lifetime that dictate how we should or shouldn't behave, and those social norms and all that sort of stuff. We do not question whether that newborn baby is worthy of love. Okay? And what I want you to remember as we go through this and in your journey, regardless of when you see this, and I hope that you remember it going forwards after you've watched this, you were once a newborn baby as well. And you are just as deserving of that love, compassion, and understanding as what any newborn baby is. There is nothing about you that is broken and unlovable to the point that you do not deserve to be lovingly accepted. Okay? Obviously, don't go out and hurt anyone. I'm not channeling those kind of energies where someone would, go out and do something illegal. And to be fair, that isn't your energy at all. So don't take it as that, please. But what I'm saying is you haven't intrinsically done anything to the point where you do not deserve to be loved. So I'm going to stop rambling about this, and we are going to move on to the tarot before I go too way off course here. And we're going to see what it is that you need to know about this past lifetime. And we have the Four of Swords. What else, please? And we have Temperance. Yeah. Make sure that you are allowing yourself time to rest. Because this shadow work that you need to do from this previous lifetime that you are going through and integrating and working through, it's energy draining. I'm not going to lie. It can completely knock you off your feet to the point where you just want to take a nap and you have no energy. Especially if you are dealing with any kind of mental health issues at the same time, or have been diagnosed with any mental health issues. Temperance also talks about healing. So there is an element of moderation, but there is also balance, healing, blessings, and spirit guide coming through as well. And is associated with Sagittarius, which is knowledge and philosophy, and which is something that you're working through, because philosophy is a knowledge. It's all that self-knowledge and that learning and growing within yourself, but allow yourself that time to really heal and rest when you need to. No, we have the Hierophant here. Listen to your body, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Listen to your body when you need to rest. And if you've ended up finding yourself in therapy, there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. But know that it can be very draining, and allow yourself that time to heal and to rest when you need to. Take a nap if you need to. Have an early night. Focus on your well-being and finding that balance between taking action and showing up in the world, and allowing yourself to have enough downtime to recuperate from the healing work that you're doing. And then with the Hierophant that we have here, fives are all about change. It's that pivotal point between the beginning of the aces and the conclusion and end of a cycle with the tens. So there is that element of change coming in. But Taurus, like the Hierophant is associated with Taurus. And Taurus is linked with values and self-esteem. It's also a very grounded and traditional kind of energy to it as well. But there is also an element of study and spiritual search within that as well. And that feels very much like what you're going to be going through as you do this healing work and find that that balance of rest as well. And we have the Page of Wands. So pages, they're the messengers. So there may be something to do with, it feels like something that you would be passionate about, something that would spark that creativity and fire in your belly to kind of like, yes, this is a bit of me. It may be something that comes to you via someone else as a messenger of spirit or a messenger of the universe that is going to nudge you in that direction, or it could also represent you and that new beginning where you are starting to, as you go through this healing and processing this, as you're tapping into your power and blossoming, it's this energy of passion and creativity and drive that is starting to really grow within you as you go on this journey. What else, please? Nine of Swords. Yeah, there's going to be an element of your fears and anxieties coming up as you work through these. You may end up with a sense of, I want to say almost imposter syndrome, feeling like you don't belong or don't fit in some way. But it's a very mental energy, as in it's something that is in your head but not necessarily holds any truth. So what example could I use? So when we suffer with anxiety, so that's something that I'm dealing with personally, so I can relate to it and explain it to you from my own experiences and point of view of it, because on top of having fibromyalgia, I also have PTSD, which me and my therapist think is complex PTSD, but an element of that is the anxiety. And because I can differentiate between how I am now with my PTSD and the anxiety that brings up and induces, and how I was before I had this, I can tell that the anxieties that are coming up aren't actually me, they are part of my mental health condition. And you may find as you are going through your healing journey that you may be able to tell the difference between what is a fear that isn't connected with your true essence or higher self and what is. Because our higher selves, there isn't any fear, judgment or anything like that comes through, because it is a very grounded and secure energy that we tap into. So when you are tapping into this Page of Wands energy, that is going to be feeling secure, and you will feel sure of yourself. But you may find that there are times when you are in this Nine of Swords energy and feeling very anxious, not being able to sleep properly, and you may find that it stops you from pursuing things. So it's a matter of, once again, finding that balance, healing, and when you find yourself in this Nine of Swords energy, reverting back to the things that you've done during your healing, the tools that you have in your toolkit, the practices that you have learnt through your shadow work and through your focus and boundaries and processing this grief, so that you can tap back into your power and continue to blossom. Because every time you fall back into this energy of anxiety and fears and sleeplessness, it's going to be not a setback, but it's going to be more like a blockage that will stop you from moving forwards. And you'll likely end up blocking yourself during that time. And that's okay. Like, don't beat yourself up for it. It's just part of the process, because it's going to be more things that are coming up to be healed. But then, because we have the Ace of Swords on the back of the deck, you are going to be working through that and being able to cut away the things that don't serve you, and cutting out those fears and limiting self-beliefs that you are working through and with. It's going to take time, because things like this do, but that doesn't mean that it isn't possible and it isn't worth you keep going and keep trying. So the main thing here is to not give up. Don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on your path and where you're going. Allow yourself this time to heal and to rest when you need to. Be gentle with yourself. And work with those grounding energies, those earth energies, being out in nature, connecting with what makes you happy and what you enjoy doing, those creative pursuits, and almost tapping into your inner child as well. Like when it comes to the things that bring you joy and your creativity, even if it's something that you would never imagine yourself doing as an adult, if it's something that brought you joy and that you think could bring you joy again at this point in your life, just go do it. Don't worry about what anyone thinks or whether it's socially acceptable. To hell with it. Throw the rule book out the window. Go and do what it is that brings you joy and happiness as you work through this, whether it is a colouring book. You can get adult colouring books. They are hella fun. Just go do that stuff. Or if you want something that's more grown up, then, you know, there's paint by numbers and all sorts of things out there now. But just something that is creative and will allow you to connect back in with your body as well. So we're going to use these oracle cards that I've already cut and blessed. We're going to get some advice for you going forwards on how to integrate this. So how can my pile twos integrate this, please? What do they need to know about this part of the process? And we have miracles happen all the time. Open your mind to miracles and you will start experiencing miraculous coincidences in your life. Yeah, allow yourself to open up to that healing, to open up to that process and these emotions that you have been denying, so that you can actually work through them. Just allow yourself that window. It's almost like leaving a door open to let those in. Don't close yourself off completely. And we also have, it takes courage to pursue your dreams. It takes courage to be who you are, to do what feels right. It takes courage to face the fears that have the power to hold you back. Be brave and the world will be yours. Yeah, be brave, my number twos. You can do this. I know it's not easy, but my goodness me, is it worth it when you get to the other side, or even halfway through, when you can see those differences and those changes. That's another thing. Don't compare yourself to others. Do not at any point, I know it's hard because it's so easy to compare ourselves to other people, but if you can, try not to compare yourself to someone else's, I don't know, step 10, 20, 30 to your step 1, because it's not going to serve you. All it's going to do is make you feel worse. So don't compare yourself. just be brave to face what you need to, so that you can take your power back. Because as I was talking about earlier, we've got power over here. The yellow in this card is to do with your solar plexus, which is your center of power as well. And it's blossoming, because we have the blossoming card on top of the power card here. So yeah, don't let anyone take that away from you. What else, please? No, they're everywhere. No, got quite a few here. Okay, so try not to compare your life or your situation to those of others when faced with new things or people. Just say, interesting. Keep your mind open and awake. Don't feel inferior. All the possibilities are as open to you as they are to others. Told you, don't compare. Sorry, that came out really like, no, told you so. But you know what I mean. It's what we've just been talking about, and the cards are just, it's just being reiterated for you that comparison is not going to do you any good. What else do we have here? We have, there is only one of you. So damn true. And that is your strength and your gift to this world, to be unique. Honor your gift by listening to your heart, follow your passion, and trusting your inner voice. Yeah. Pile 2, trust yourself. You are as unique as your fingerprint. And like we all are. And that is the absolute beauty of life, because we are all so completely unique in who we are. But at the same time, obviously, because things like this, you know, with pick a card readings and whatnot, we have similarities. Even though we are completely unique, we still go through similar experiences in life to some degree that make us process things. Like, we're all human. And although we are unique, we can also connect with others on a deeper level through our shared experiences of life. Because we're all born, we all go through life, and we all die. And what we do with that time in between is what really counts. But it's that allows us to be able to connect with others and have that sense of community and connection. But we also have, dare to dream a little bigger, dare to ask for a little more. Not because everything should be bigger, but for you to see where your limits are. Yeah, don't limit yourself with this 9 of Swords here. Don't limit yourself through your fears and self-imposed limitations. Dare to dream big. Don't hold yourself back. Just because you're working through this right now doesn't mean that you will be working through these same things forever. It is just a part of your journey that is happening right now. It isn't the all-encompassing completeness of who you are. I know that didn't come out right, but you know what I mean. It isn't everything. It is just a, how can I put this? It's just a chapter in your book of life. Okay? And at some point this chapter is going to close out, and you will have done enough of this work to be able to step forward into your next chapter, and things will be different. Things never stay the same. Everything changes. Nothing stays as it is, even though we might want it to at times. But there is always that opportunity to alchemize change and to step into something new. And on the back of the deck we have, even though your dream isn't possible right now, could you give it the chance to come true in the future? See, told you. You might not be where you want to be right now, but that doesn't mean that it isn't possible to get to where you want to be in the future. just keep holding on to that dream, that vision, what it is that you are working towards, because it will become possible. It's just that it may not be possible right now because energies need to shift, energies need to change, things need to be integrated so that you see things differently. And also, whatever it is that you are trying to bring in, quite often there are other people at play in this, and things need to line up and to come into alignment to be able to come into our lives, and we have to be at the right vibrational set point for that also to be possible, which is why we do the inner work, because it allows us to alchemize and change who we are on the inside, which then reflects on our external world as well, and what we attract and who we bring to our lives. So although there may be a person, situation, etc., that you want to bring in, if we haven't done the work and we aren't at the point where that really truly aligns and resonates with us, it won't come in until we're ready. And we have to do this work first, unfortunately. We all go through that. Like, it's not straightforward and it's not easy. But by continuing on your path and diligently working through these things rather than trying to stuff them down, as I said earlier, you can't go under it, over it, you have to go through it. And by doing so, it allows you to alchemize and change your vibrational set point so that you can come into alignment with the things that you are wanting to manifest and bring in. And you will get there, my pile twos. It just might take a little bit of time, especially as this has come through from previous lifetime, and it feels like you have a fair bit still to do, but that doesn't mean that it's impossible. So I want to send you so much love and thank you so much for being here and for sticking with me through this reading. I really hope that it's resonated and it's been interesting and helpful in some way. But yeah, I love you guys and I've missed doing this. So thank you so much for being here and being part of my little corner of the internet, because you guys mean so much to me. And yeah, so please feel free to like, comment or subscribe if you feel like doing so, because it all helps out the channel and lets me know what it is that you like and whether I've done a good job, I guess, too, which I hope I have. But yeah, and I hope that you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I really hope that you will come back and see me again soon. Bye. Hi my pile threes, welcome to your reading. So this is your reading if you chose the Sunstone Tower, which I'm going to pop up there. So this card here, the one that you chose, is your main lesson that you are still integrating from your previous lifetime. And I've been reading these from the guidebook because I absolutely love this oracle card deck. And they've been making so much sense. And then we're going to look at some more oracles as well to get some more information about your past lifetime and what it is that's come through for you into this lifetime. And then we're going to get some tarot, and we're also going to see what it is that you need to know about this. And then we're going to get some guidance to wrap up your reading as well. So we have fear. I realise that I am testing my resolve to live in the energy of love. Wow, yeah, because fear is the complete opposite. And if we're living in a place of fear, it really stunts our energy. And when I say that, I mean our energy to do things, to get things done. It can lead to a state of depression. And it can really stop us from being in our power, like in our own personal power, and tapping into our willpower as well. So let's see what this one has to say. So, fear. The outcome of all choices in life is determined by two emotions, fear and love. Your soul is made of the energy of love, and fear is an earthly manifestation of a challenge. To embrace and wallow in fear is to go against your very being. Fear in its many guises is the obstacle that your soul uses to test its tendency to stay on track. Tenacity to stay on track. For a soul, human life can be very difficult, but acknowledging that your soul's true nature is love will always help you on your path. When fear rears its ugly head, it is really an opportunity for you to stare it in the eye and turn that doubt into trust. View it as a teacher. What lesson are you learning from these fearful emotions? The more you use the energy of love to diffuse fearful situations, the less often they will present themselves. Aww, pile 3. Okay, so there may be a lot of anxiety coming up for you about situations or about life itself. It may or may not be to the point where it is affecting how you interact with others, how you socialize, how you spend your time. You may even find that it is stopping you from moving forwards in life and taking those leaps of faith that would catapult you forwards. And it's something that, because we're looking at past lives, these are all things that we didn't fully integrate in our previous lifetime. And when we don't fully integrate something or process it and go through it, it lingers and we'll keep coming back and going through it again and again and again and again. And it's like Groundhog Day for the soul, until we can integrate these things and be able to really alchemize them so that they sit with us differently and we can see them for what they are. So we're going to have a look at these oracle cards as well, because they are part of your past life that we are looking at as well. So we also have Witch's Runes with Foretelling with number 29. And we have Ancestors with number 3. They hiss a quivering so deep, only roots of your soul can lift the nakedness hidden within the vows made in silence, an ancient chill walking upon the spine. And we also have Spirit with Initiation. And we have Disconnection with something else that I can't pronounce. And number 41. And we also have Spirit. So that's Spirit coming out twice. And we have a Lunar God, the Masculine. So to me, this is very much about bringing into balance. Okay, yes, we have fear, which is the core thing that you're dealing with. But there is also, and number 42 here. I don't know if I can't remember if I mentioned that or not. But there's almost that element of bringing balance in between your divine masculine and divine feminine. So it's that thing of knowing how to take action and when to be in a state of surrender and receiving. Because we've had Spirit come out twice, which is a very feminine energy. in a lot of ways, because our intuition and connection with spirit is very much through the divine feminine and being able to tap into our intuition and that inner knowing, whereas the masculine is more about taking action and putting ourselves out there and, you know, hi world, I'm here kind of thing, which you're going to be struggling with if you're struggling with fear. And your ancestors, now when I say ancestors, this to me feels like it isn't just your biological ancestors within this lifetime, which may be helping you from the spirit realm and guiding you, but this could also be ancestors in the sense of your spirit family and your soul tribe, who aren't necessarily all here on earth at this particular time. Some of them may still be in spirit and they are watching over you and helping you to work through these fears and this part of your soul's journey. It was something that your soul was very aware of coming into this lifetime that wasn't resolved from a previous life, and there may also be something to do with past life experiences that you've had that made you feel like you couldn't truly be yourself. And it's almost like you are going through this reinitiation and a reconnection with who you truly are. I can't remember what this one said. Disconnection, yeah. Okay, so if you are feeling disconnected from your higher self, from spirit right now, and that's what is adding to your fear and making you, I'm so sorry, that's what I get for recording at silly o'clock in the morning, but making you feel disconnected from your spiritual practices, it feels like okay, so this is either going to resonate or it won't, but it's something that feels like it's coming through quite strongly, so it may be true for a fair few of you watching, but it feels almost like you've had an experience similar to the Salem witch trials. You've been here previously, the past life that you are working through, and that has unresolved things that are coming through, which is the fear. You may have been ridiculed in a previous lifetime. It doesn't have to be the Salem witch trials. You don't have to associate with those practices or with that particular era in any way. You'll know if that resonates or not, but it doesn't have to. It's just an added confirmation. But in your previous lifetime that we are looking at here, you would have been ridiculed to some extent, and it would have instilled a sense of fear within you that it's not okay to be you. There is some element of your authentic self that you have been hiding and pushing down and keeping from coming to the surface and being shown in some way. Whether you are in touch with that part of yourself and have a connection with it in private, may be a possibility. But for the larger part, there's a lot of fear around showing up and showing your true authentic self to the rest of the world, and having that balance within yourself. But you have a very strong connection with your ancestors and them wanting to support you through this, because looking at the fear card, we have the yellow that I've already pointed out, which is linked with your center of power, willpower, general day-to-day living energy, and being able to really take action on things. But we also have purples in that card and reds. So reds, understandably, are all to do with, or understandably to me anyway, that it's linked with your root chakra, which is all to do with your feeling safe in your body and in your own skin and in your environment. It's that basic survival needs kind of element to life. And with the purples, that's to do with your crown chakra and brow chakra, I should say, and to do with your intuition and your intuitive knowing, which could be why you are feeling cut off from spirit and disconnected in some way, shape or form, because the fear is blocking you from being able to connect with your intuition and connect with that, your higher self and your inner knowing. So you may feel like you are completely disconnected and you just feel completely adrift, and it's almost like not knowing your arse from your elbow, because when we are completely disconnected from those parts of ourselves and feeling that deep sense of fear, where we don't feel safe in our bodies, we don't feel safe in our environment, we don't feel safe in who we are, it very much sets us adrift, and we don't have a clear direction in life quite often. So that is what you are working with. Oh, I'm so sorry. In this lifetime that is coming through from your previous life. And with the witch's runes and what was the word? Foretelling. For some reason, I'm getting something to do with Baba Yaga coming through. And Baba Yaga was very misunderstood. Baba Yaga is where does she come from? Nordic, I think it is. I could be wrong, so please don't quote me on it. Mythology, and she was pictured as this wicked witch who would eat children. But although she has been depicted as being very scary and very foreboding, she's very much misunderstood, and there is a lot of healing and shadow work available through Baba Yaga. And it feels like there is an element of that rings true with you, like you have been misunderstood and judged for those misunderstandings in some way. And that may also ring true for this lifetime. So it may be that you feel very misunderstood for who you are as a person, or past actions that you have taken that haven't been received as you intended in some way, shape or form as well. It's not, there's something else coming through that isn't necessarily from your past life, but it could be. You may be drawn to working with the moon because we have 2 full moons that have come out in these cards, and they are at opposing ends of the reading. So there is almost that sense of going through a full cycle and going through all of the different phases to almost come full circle. So there may be a situation that you are dealing with and healing from or going through that is going to go full circle. But you aren't alone in this. That even though you feel disconnected from spirit and your guides, and most likely feel completely alone in this, they are there. They're watching over you. It doesn't matter how long it takes you to reconnect with them and to find that connection within yourself, and to find that connection with yourself as well. It doesn't matter how long it takes, they're still going to be there. There won't be you won't miss out on anything, on any opportunities or anything else. Like, they're still going to be there. There's going to be more opportunities. They're going to make sure of it, and they are constantly going to be by your side and to keep guiding you. So they will be there as soon as you are ready and as soon as you reconnect with yourself and find that balance between your feminine and masculine to work through this fear. There may be also something significant about your familial relationships with both the divine masculine and divine feminine within your family, who would have exhibited those roles within that dynamic. I've been tripping over my words all evening, so I do apologise. I say evening because that's when I'm recording. But yeah, there could be some element of that coming in as well, because a lot of, well, I was going to say a lot of the times, but it kind of like goes with the territory. So things that we don't heal from our previous lifetimes, they replay in our current lifetimes until we heal them. And so there may be an element of that with your upbringing and the experiences that you had when you were younger that are reinforcing this sense of fear and maybe even ridicule. It may not necessarily be from those particular dynamics. It could be from your peers that you had the ridicule. But there is a sense of that coming through as well that has reinforced the lessons and soul journey that you have brought forward from this particular lifetime that we're looking at, which has just kind of compounded what it was that you came here to learn in this lifetime and to integrate, because of it being this past life that's coming through. So we're going to get some tarot to see what it is that you need to know about this particular lifetime that we're looking at. So what do my pile threes need to know about this past life? Okay, we've had 3 come out. I'm really sorry, my pile threes. When I was doing your reading, I didn't realise, but my camera actually died. So I did the rest of your reading and didn't realise until after I'd finished. So we're back on a different day for me. But all of your cards are all pre-pulled because obviously I went through the whole process previously. So if things are looking slightly different, I do apologise. My nail varnish is a different colour, so I'm sorry if that kind of knocks you off a little bit, balance. if you're easily distracted by small details. And the candles, I've replenished them for you as well, and they are a different colour to what they were previously. So I apologise for the changes and everything, but yes, it seems that it wasn't just me that was tired, it was my camera as well. So after that, I went to bed and was like, I need to come back to this a different day. And it's been a bit longer than what I'd planned. But so yeah, so we're going to go through your cards and see what it is that you need to know about this situation that's coming through, about this fear that's coming through from your past life, and just have a look at the tarot for you. So these are the three that shot out at the end of where we cut off from. So we have the Ace of Pentacles, Nine of Pentacles, and the Ace of Swords. And then I also pulled the Three of Wands for you and the Three of Swords. And on the back of the deck, we've got the Three of Cups. So let me just squidge these up a bit. And then we will get into it. I find it really interesting that you have 2 aces and 3 threes. So, oh, come on. Over there. So, excuse me. So there is very much a sense of, although there is a lot, generally looking at these, because of the 2 aces and the 3 threes that we've had come out, there is this general sense of it's a chance to start over, to allow yourself to bear witness to these fears that come up in you, and to allow yourself to drop into that space where you are finding a way to allow yourself to trust in who you are. Because at the core of all of this, I think that you know who you are, regardless of the fears of judgment and the fears of even a general sense of not enoughness because of not feeling safe in your own environment, skin, body, however it's manifesting for you. In this lifetime, there is an opportunity for you to start over and to find that new beginning, mentally as well as physically. So even if it is the fears that are blocking you from being able to see things clearly, or to be able to cut things away that aren't serving you, it's having a physical impact in a material kind of way, whether it be that it's stopping you from moving towards what it is that you want financially, because you don't feel like you have enough to offer the world, or to offer in that particular position. But you also have the Nine of Pentacles here, and that's very much about almost reaching the pinnacle of having all of that abundance, that material sense of stability, and having more than enough when it comes to your money and your health, and it's all those really physical, tangible elements of it. But there is still work to be done because of the threes that we have coming in here. Once again, the Three of Swords is to do with separation, and it can also be linked with heartbreak and things like that. But because of the imagery that's on the card, to me it's the separation from your intuition, and that knowing that you are part of something bigger than just you. We're all interconnected via our energy and things like that. And there is an opportunity to expand, to learn, grow, and really allow yourself to venture out there, because the Three of Wands is also linked with travel as well, and having that sense of community. So it may be that you find that as you are breaking down these fears, because fear it's not the enemy. It's something that is there to help us stay alive. It's a preservation type thing, because if we didn't have healthy fears, like knowing not to step out in front of a car and knowing not to jump off of a cliff, those are the sorts of things that we need fear for, to stop us from doing something that would hurt us. But because of the kind of world that we live in and how things have progressed, our brains haven't really evolved to keep up with it. So we see fears sometimes where there isn't any physical danger. So if you can, you may find meditation to be very helpful. And this can, I know it's really hard to do things like meditation, and people automatically think of like doing visualizations and things like that. But if that isn't for you, or you struggle with visualizations, try mindfulness instead, so that you are present in the moment. Because by being present, it allows us to not focus on the future, because that's where our fears come into things. When we start to overthink things and really focus on the future and what could be, whether they are good things or bad things, or even it can be a fear of success and that imposter syndrome type thing coming through, that can also have an impact. So when I'm talking about things like mindfulness, it can be as simple as making sure that you are present when you do the washing up, and really immerse yourself in that really mundane, what we'd normally consider to be quite boring, that kind of a thing, so that you are experiencing the moment rather than letting your thoughts and your mind drift and conjure up all these stories, as we do. It's part of being human. There is nothing wrong with that. It's just that if you can bring yourself back into the moment, every time you find your mind wandering, bring yourself back to the task at hand and what you're actually doing. The more methodical and mundane it is, the more beneficial it's going to be for you being able to do those mindfulness moments. You can also do walking mindfulness when you're out in nature, if you go on walks, or if you have a dog that you take out. I'm using that as an example because of my little boy that I take out, my little chihuahua. But you can focus on the colours of the leaves, whether there are any leaves left in the trees, what the colours of the leaves are on the ground, if you have any left on the ground, all those different oranges and shades of green, and really paying attention to the small details of your surroundings and what you can see. Whether it be that there are, I don't know if it's going to be the same for you, but we've got flowers here in the UK at the time of recording, and they're completely out of season, bless their little hearts, because we shouldn't be having, I think it was daisies that I saw the other day. But little unusual things like that, where it's bringing you back into the present moment. I know I'm kind of going off on a tangent, but it's things like that you can use to bring yourself back, so that you are present in the moment and not getting wrapped up in your thoughts and fears and things like that. It's not a one size fits all, and it's not going to magically fix everything, but it's going to help you to be able to get some kind of space around that fear. And because the more space that you can create between the fear and your true authentic self, the easier it is going to be for you to be able to see it more, I can't remember if it's subjectively or objectively, but so that you've got that distance and that space and you can see it for what it is rather than being wrapped up and triggered in that moment, because there is so much so much strength for you to find in your surroundings. There's something significant about travel for you as well, so you may find yourself relocating either once you've worked through these fears or as you begin to, or it may be that you just need to go somewhere different to break the routine and maybe spend time with friends and loved ones and people that you can have fun with, that are supportive and that are part of your tribe. This feels like this is what you're being led to, even if you don't have this already. So keep exploring, keep going to new places, embrace the change and being able to start fresh somewhere. Because this fear, it isn't who you are. It's just something that you are working through. And when we have anxiety and triggers and things that are kind of the trauma responses, it can get in our way because we get so wrapped up in it and we can't see past it, and it prevents us from being able to see our true value, true worth, and be able to really show up in the world, as we've previously discussed. While I remember, Baba Yaga, who I mentioned previously, she's actually Scandinavian. I will pop there's a book that I'm thinking of that you may find interesting if you are called to work with Baba Yaga or want to do any research around her. And I will put that, you'll find that in the description box next to your timestamp for this pile. I'll pop that in there for you, just in case you want to read up on that. And but yeah, I just wanted to interject with that. So there was something else that I wanted to mention that I don't know whether I didn't see it or it didn't come through before. But when it comes to these oracle cards that we had come through, with Spirit coming out twice and the disconnect being in the middle, it feels very much like Spirit is helping you to work through this sense of disconnect. So I'm going to have a look at this card a bit closer. It's okay if you need to... maybe this is it. It's okay if you need to disconnect from the world, whether it be that you are taking a step back from your social outings or whether it is that you are disconnecting from social media, and so that you haven't got those distractions and external noises and things pulling at you from outside. Because it looks here like she's about to walk into a cave and she's leaving the world behind her. And it's got that kind of, almost like a hermit kind of energy to it, which is all to do with the answers being within you. So if you are to focus on your internal work, whether it be shadow work or inner child work, anything along those sorts of lines, and focus on your connection with Spirit, because Spirit is very much, it's like your spirit team are trying to surround you and embrace you so that you can feel safe and secure and focus on your connection with Spirit. And it may be that you will... See, I'm still falling over my words even though I'm recording on a different day. Nothing changes, or some things don't change. But to really take that time to connect with Spirit by taking a step away from any distractions and external noises and things that may disrupt that connection or your ability to feel focused in that area. And trusting those intuitive nudges that you get, regardless of how small they are, because you need to remember that intuition, whispers. Fears and anxieties, they scream, and so does the ego. But intuition whispers. So those small little nudges and signs and things that you pick up on as you go through life, the things that follow what feels good, is what I'm hearing. So the small things that bring you joy and comfort and connection, follow those. Who's trying to peek out under here? Yeah, the Knight of Cups. Follow your bliss. Yeah, the Knight of Cups is all about following what makes you happy and seeking that love and connection, which I also think that you're going to find that in a sense of community, whether it be something like a local spiritual centre, or it's making me think of like an online tarot group, you know, something where you will meet like-minded people similar to who you are past this fear that you're working through, so that you can focus on the things that make you feel empowered and connected to others. Also, a bit random, may resonate for some of you, might not for others, but there's something really significant to me here with these 3 threes that have come out, because the power of 3 is something that I very much link with, I don't know whether this is probably me being really old school here, but if any of you would have watched Charmed with the sisters, there's normally 3 of them that have powers. So there may be something to do with psychic abilities, things like that coming through for you as well. But there is that kind of sense of, even here with the 3 women, so there may be some kind of circle, like women's circle, or it's making me think kind of like, or even a coven if you're into witchcraft and things like that. But there's something about being able to drop your mask and allow yourself to be seen for who you are. And it's going to give you that safe environment so that you are free of the judgment. I've even got the judgment card coming out underneath. Free of that judgment from other people and even from yourself as well. Because a lot of the time when we have fears and anxieties, it doesn't mean that how we are thinking that we're going to be perceived, like if we think that we're going to be judged or that people aren't going to like us for who we are, we're not giving people the chance. If we're putting on a mask and pretending that we're someone else, we're not giving people the chance to actually get to know us. And these 3 ladies on here, they have masks. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that, but they have masks that look like they might be maybe swans or geese. Swans, maybe. But that they've taken them off to celebrate with each other, and they're actually showing their true colours of who they are. There isn't any judgment or fear of rejection or anything like that, which may be something that I might have hit on something there with the whole fear of judgment or rejection. But the only way that you're going to be rejected, really, is if you reject yourself. Because we're not here to appease anyone else. We're not here to bend and pretzel and be what society thinks that we should be, or even our social groups that we may interact with. Because at the end of the day, you won't be happy unless you're actually being yourself. So if people don't like you for who you are, then fine. Like, I know it's not easy, but you don't need their permission to be you. It's okay to cut them away, and not in a horrible way, but to distance yourself and once again disconnect. Take that step back, and practice discernment as to who it is that you are investing your time and energy in, because it feels like investing time and energy in yourself is going to be what's most beneficial to you, rather than worrying about what's going on outside or comparing yourself to other people and where other people are at. Yeah, just bringing your focus back to yourself, what you want, how you want your life to look, be, feel, and who you are. It feels like it keeps coming back to that whole thing of reconnecting with the true sense of you, rather than trying to shun parts of yourself or hide parts of yourself away. So I'm aware that this is probably shorter than the other two piles so far, but I'm trying to remember everything that I went through previously and see if there's anything else that I've missed or didn't pick up on. But as you work through this, there's almost a sense of having better boundaries. I don't know how accurate this is going to be, but I can hear spirits saying having a backbone. So that may be something that you would say. But there is a sense of that coming through as well, as to how you begin to integrate this and work through it. So we're going to take a look at the oracle cards that I pulled previously for advice, and yeah, if anything else pops up then I will circle back. But we have: you don't need to explain or justify what you know to be true in your heart. This is your life, your journey. Enjoy every fabulous moment. Yeah, as I was saying, you need to focus on your own enjoyment and what lights you up and makes you happy, rather than fearing judgment from anyone else and not fitting in. Don't worry about fitting in, because in all honesty, I don't think any of us feel like we completely fit in any one particular place, or at least a lot of us don't feel like we fit in until we find our tribe. But we need to be open and honest about who we are so that our tribe can find us. And we have: stand in front of a mirror and say to yourself, I am worthy of all the good things I dream about. Yeah, don't let that fear get in the way. You can do this. And take in everything life has to offer, the happy and the sad. Trust that you're always where you should be, and you are given the lessons you need to move forwards. Yeah, trust in that process, that thing of taking a step away if you need to. Even with the cyclical living that I mentioned before, if that feels true to you, then follow what feels right. And we have: miracles happen all the time. Open your mind to miracles and you will start experiencing miraculous coincidences in your life. Yeah, it's just about shifting that mindset, which will... it's all the Ace of Wands there, Ace of Swords, sorry. And we have: wait until you feel like things are progressing effortlessly. Let the opportunities present themselves when the time is right. Don't force things, have patience. Yeah, everything has its own divine timing, which is why it's okay to disconnect and walk away from things if you need to, just to have that break and allow yourself to shift through this and alchemize the energy that you're working with and these fears and disconnection, because it's going to allow you to, when we're working with energy and vibrations and things like that, it's a like attracts like kind of a situation. So if you are stuck in a place of fear, it's quite a low frequency energy, which will just create more opportunity for fear and other people who are also fearful. You'll draw them into you. Whereas if you can take the time to disconnect and to become in more alignment with who you truly are and your core essence. It's going to help you to raise that vibration, and then you will attract better and more happy and harmonious things to you, rather than keep recreating those same fear-based situations. And on the back of the deck we have, let bygones be bygones. The future can be very different from your past. Give life the opportunity to offer new experiences to you. Don't let your beliefs from your past stand in the way of a bright future. Yeah. It's just, it feels like, although this is something that has come through from a previous lifetime, there is ample opportunity for you to close this out in this lifetime. And just because it's something that you didn't manage to work through in a previous lifetime doesn't mean that you can't do it this time. It feels like you have the tools, you have the self-awareness, you have the spiritual guidance, because let's face it, if you weren't open to spiritual guidance, you wouldn't be watching a pick a card reading. And that's all going to help you, and you definitely wouldn't be watching a pick a card reading on a past life. So you've already come along leaps and bounds than what you probably were in the lifetime that you didn't work through this in. And that's helping to set you up so that you can have a different future, and you can make these changes and have different opportunities going forwards. It's just a matter of doing the healing work and the time, and just allowing things to fall into place as and when they're supposed to. Because sometimes, even though we may know that something is for us, it may be that the timing isn't quite right. I've lost count. I'm going to use myself as an example here, but I've lost count now how many times I have come at this channel like, I'm going to upload this many times at this schedule, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and then life gets in the way. It's like, yes, I know this is what I should be doing, but the timing hasn't been quite right, which is why things keep getting in the way and things keep getting delayed. It doesn't mean that it isn't supposed to happen, it isn't supposed to grow, it isn't supposed to take off, but just that the timing isn't quite right. And that can be true of so many things. Like, don't be deterred from something just because it hasn't worked out the first couple of times. It doesn't mean that it isn't supposed to work out. You just have to look at the timing, where your energy is, where the rest of your life is at. Have you done enough work to have things in alignment for this to be a vibrational match with you right now? Because your soul's inner knowing can lead you to things, and at times it can kind of feel like you're butting your head against a brick wall because it's not quite time to actually be living that life, because you haven't done the energetic work that brings you into alignment with it. So it won't work until you finish up doing that, and then everything will start to fall into place. So yeah, thanks Spirit, calling me out at the same time here. But yeah, that kind of feels like where you're at, pile 3. It doesn't mean that you can't close this out, and you can't have an abundant life where you feel safe and secure and supported. It's just a matter of allowing yourself to do what you need to, and don't worry about the short-term consequences, because sometimes we can feel like if we take a step back and take our foot off the gas pedal or the accelerator, whatever you want to call it, then it can feel like everything's going to ground to a halt and everything will be lost, because you've taken that time out to focus on your health in some respect, whether it be your physical health, mental health, whatever it is, because you've taken that break. That's not true. If you take that time out, take that time to heal, to focus on yourself, it can actually propel you forwards quicker, because you won't be trying to push through something when you aren't at your best. It allows you to come back into alignment with yourself, with your health, and then you are much better equipped going forwards to be able to have the energy, and whether it be physical energy or whether it be even when it comes to your moods as well, because if you're in a good mood, things flow a lot easier, and you get into that state of flow without being hindered by fears and all those sorts of things. You just allow yourself to be, and things just happen. But you can't do that if you're in a place of fear and you're overanalyzing everything, because you can end up in like this analysis paralysis, and then you don't move forwards. So you might as well just take that time out to heal, to rest, to rejuvenate, and then move forwards when you're ready. So yeah, I hope that this has been helpful or interesting in some way, and thank you so much for being here with me and spending your time with me. I really, really appreciate you, and yeah, just thank you so much for letting me read for you and connect with your past life. And so this is where I'm going to leave your reading, and I hope that you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching. If you feel called to, then please feel free to like, comment or subscribe, because I would love to have you as part of my notification squad, so you'll be notified of when my next video goes up. And yeah, let me know how it resonates in the comments if you feel called to do so. But I hope that this has been helpful and that you will come back and see me again soon. Bye.